Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about what I do in a day as a professional dog sitter, along with some tips. If you're new here, welcome. We talk about dog care, running a dog care business with Rover, and the nitty-gritty stuff. I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get into it. I'm trying to be quiet right now. Good morning. It is Sunday at 6:30 in the morning right now. And yes, we work on Sundays because dogs need to be taken care of on Sundays. Currently, I'm using this sunblock. It is a well-loved one from the netizens from YouTube. But actually, this is not number one anymore. It used to be, and I've been buying Round Lab without even knowing it was number one from Korea a few years ago. And well, I looked at what's popular from Olive Young, what's number one, around the same price as Video Joseon, and I bought it, and I've been using it ever since. And I brought it back to some of our friends of mine in the United States, but they didn't know it was number one when I gave it to them, but now they do, and a lot of people use it now, which is cool. Sunblock is very important because I'm out in the elements all day. It's either me or my husband out in the elements. Gotta make sure we protect our skin. Every day's wake up time is different. It just depends what time the first dog is coming, and then we go backwards from there. We try to have the dogs sleeping as much as they can so they have a whole day of play ahead of them. It usually is around 7 to 8 a.m. So we try to have it all around the same time, but it depends on the first dog's arrival. So the night before, we always make sure we have the schedule down for the next morning to see what time we should wake up, because we want to make sure we get all our work done before we get bombarded with clients. Otherwise, it gets a little hectic. It just really depends. Some people might ask, why don't you just wake up every day at the same time as 7 a.m.? While that is a good idea, sometimes it might not be, because if we wake up and the first doorbell rings at, let's say, 7:15, then the dog that we need to let out to use the restroom can't hold it because he or she's a puppy. If we're not organized like that, it could get a little hectic, very stressful. So imagine you're trying to let the dogs out and someone had an accident because you weren't able to streamline the process, and then the doorbell rings and you're trying to clean that up while you meet the client outside, and then everyone's barking indoors and they're stepping all over the pee or the poop. It gets a little nuts. So definitely plan ahead of time, and that's something we have to learn to do. It took about a few months to streamline that process. Why is Gigi wearing makeup? That is a question. I do treat this like a job. I try to put on makeup because it is client facing. Most of the time it is just with dogs all day, but I do have meet and greets here and there, and I also talk to clients in person. I make sure that, I look presentable. It's almost 7:30, so I'm gonna start my day soon. I have to talk to people. I do meet and greets, and I go outside to talk to them when they're doing pickup or drop off, just to, chat it up and build a relationship. Genuinely, I do put on makeup, and I feel more confident when I do. Gotta impress the clients, my four-legged clients. Just kidding, yeah. There have been days where my husband wakes up earlier than me and he does the doggy stuff in the morning, the doggy routine, and then I roll out of bed to meet with the client who rings the doorbell. And I definitely look like I just woke up. It's probably not a good look. I'm in my PJs still, my hair hasn't been brushed. Try to look presentable every time the doorbell rings. Well, I try my best. I wasn't planning on doing a tutorial or anything, but this is the Hourglass Ambient Light Palette. I was searching the internet high and low to figure out which palette is best for Asian skin tone, and apparently Volume 2 was the winner, according to the internet. I like the way it looks, and that's enough for me. Blend it out, otherwise you look kind of funky, but you do you. That's it. All right, let's go let the dogs out. This guy already woke up, he heard me, and he's ready to go. There's no scheduled walk today, so it's just gonna be me at home all day. After everyone has made it to the turf and peed, I filled up the water bowls with fresh and filtered water. This is the filter I use. People giving us food, there's definitely a preference on how food is packaged. These are our main ones that we appreciate the most. So for this one, the owner put the name of the dog, instructions on here, and also she included a little clippable measuring cup. Do appreciate this, makes it so much easier and takes the guesswork of how much food I should give the dog each time. The other one I really appreciate is when they give you the measuring cup with it. Not that I don't have the measuring cups, but it's already included. I never need to guess how much I need to use. It makes it really easy for us to know how much to give the dog, and I don't need to find my own measuring cup and wash it every single time. Sometimes I'll see owners give us food that's literally individually packed in a Ziploc bag, and I do appreciate how much time they put into making the food packet. I never have to measure anything. I literally just dump this out in a bowl and feed it to them. Super easy, no guesswork there, but it does waste a lot of plastic. One time I opened up an overnight bag and it was just filled to the brim with poop bags. And they were all used poop bags, but they were not full of poop. It was actually full of food. It was just food inside these bags, and after I dump it out, I had a poop bag ready for when the dog needs to poop. So it's actually well thought out. Sometimes owners will send us their food through Instacart if the dog runs out of food, or they'll give us a huge bag of food from Costco. And one time I had a husky that was staying here for 3 days. It was a husky puppy. They eat 3 times a day, so it was a lot of food, but they gave us a huge amount of food. They brought us a Costco-sized bag, and I get it, it's economical. I'm all about saving money, but it was very hard to store. It was really heavy for me to bring in, so I had to bring the bowl to the bag to get the food and bring it back out. It was just a lot. It's totally not necessary for owners to pre-package the food for us and even pre-measure it for us, but I do recognize it and I appreciate when they do. It makes it easier for feeding time, for transportation, and also when I have to measure out the food, I don't need to guess really anything. I just bring out the food, put it in the bowl, and give it to the dog. I super appreciate it when they make it easier for us, but honestly, it's totally okay. It's part of the job. We do have to make sure that we're very diligent on making sure they get the right amount of food if they don't already pre-package it for us. I'm wearing white. When it's raining, it gets pretty dirty outside. Even though I have turf, dogs still have dirt on their paws and it can get all over my white shirt, so I'm gonna go change. Ta-da! I start their day with breakfast. I have to make a note of dogs who eat only breakfast and dinner, or some dogs eat 3 meals a day. So make sure you refer to your notes on the Rover profile for the personal care instructions. To make things easier for me and my husband, I write all the food instructions on a sticky whiteboard sticker on the wall, and we call it our menu. There are shorthand words I use, but it's pretty straightforward. I'll link the whiteboard sticker in the description box. Alright, all the food prep is done. It's time to feed. Moments like this really depends on how well you know your clients, and you have to prioritize pickup, drop off, feeding, etc. If you know you have a busy afternoon, then prep the dinner the same time you prep the breakfast or lunch and just set it aside. It'll literally save you half the time. Some dogs take naps during this time, and some are still playing outside. It's pretty free-for-all until lunch, and again, the cycle repeats for dinner as well. So right now it's midday, and I usually need to change a schedule around this time because text messages will come in and they'll tell me that their flight got delayed or their work trip got canceled. Things happen all the time. So there is a change I need to do. A dog named Ghost is no longer leaving at 6 o'clock. They're leaving at 8:30 now. So I'm gonna move their pickup time at 8:30, and what that tells me is that it frees up my night. So if I want to grab a quick dinner, or if anyone's leaving around that time, I have to move people around. Because now there's 2 dogs leaving at 8:30, it does conflict in case they come at the same time. It's a pretty large window between 8:30 and 9, but just in case people come and it's conflicting and they're waiting outside, because people don't just pick up their dogs and leave right away. Sometimes they chat a little bit and they want to hear about updates. So I don't want them to wait outside the house for too long. So what I do is I tell them there is another dog leaving around the same time, and I seek their patience, and they're usually really good about that because you communicate with them exactly what you are looking for and they appreciate it. Usually I have to adjust my schedule day to day like that, but it is what it is. Something I learned from this job is to just overly communicate. People will not fault you for communicating with them. A wise friend once told me to be unclear is to be unkind, because you're not considering other people's schedule. You think your schedule is most important and everything centers around your time, but it's not true. You don't know what's going on with their day. The schedule and the world doesn't revolve around you, and you want to consider other people's schedule as well. As a service provider, we need to work with other people's schedule to some extent. If their flight gets delayed, yeah, you can be disappointed that your plans might be canceled with your friend, but you can tell your friend, hey, I might not be able to make dinner tonight, or if I can go, I'll be a little late just in case a flight gets delayed. It's helpful to have very understanding friends, and they will understand if you communicate with them
early. Just communicate with people and I'm sure they'll appreciate it. It happens very often to me, especially during the winter season when it's raining. Other places in other states are having a lot of storms. It just is very common. Just a matter of telling them ahead of time as soon as you know something. So that's something I learned from this job, is to communicate with your clients, with your friends, with your spouse, whoever this might affect, because it doesn't just affect you. So definitely over communicate if you need to. No one's gonna follow you for not communicating, right? Wow, okay, so I just dropped off a dog outside the house. Someone came and rang the doorbell, got the dog, and the owner just chatted me up and she gave me a $50 tip. Wow. So grateful. The beauty of this job is that I really don't expect it. It's been 3 years now, and every single time a tip comes in, it's always a genuine surprise, and people just appreciate you so much for what you do, especially when they come back from a long trip. I'm really grateful for them too. Because of them, I'm able to have a full-time job doing this, and it's amazing. And that's it. Thanks for joining me on my day as a professional dog sitter. I hope you learned something today, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment if you want to, and I will see you next time. Bye!